Yeah. All right. Last up we're gonna talk about Lala.
Oh,
Um, Lala. Anybody who knows Lala, she was previously married to. Uh, I don't think Carmelo is officially retired. I think he's still a player. He's just
I
not on
think
a
he's still,
roster.
yeah, I think he's still lurking out there.
Yeah,
Let me
he's
look that
still
up while
trying
you
to get.
keep going.
Yeah. He ain't retired, but at least for now, not active NBA player because you can't say former because he's still a player. He's not retired. So non-active NBA player Carmelo Anthony used to be married to Lala. They were married for over a decade. I think they got a son together, and so they've been divorced now for a while. And Lala's been a single broad for a while, and she was recently on the Breakfast Club talking about how she thinks married people are miserable and how she thinks that people are straying away from marriage more and more in lieu of being happy because it's essentially she's saying it's miserable to be married. So this is an article from Insider. It says Lala Anthony thinks most married people are miserable and that people don't want to get married anymore. Lala Anthony has dished out her opinion on marriage, claiming that most of the married people she knows are miserable. Anthony made the claim while speaking with DJ Charlemagne the God on the Breakfast Club about her recent split from her longtime husband, Carmelo Anthony. The TV personality and actor married NBA legend Carmelo in 2010, but filed for divorce in 2021 amid allegations that he had been unfaithful. The couple's life together had been chronicled in their reality television series La La's Full Court Life between 2011 and 2014. Quote, I don't hear people who aren't married saying, like, I want to get married, Anthony told Charlemagne. You just start hearing it less and less. Like, before, that was a goal. I'm not in conversation with people who are like, I can't wait to meet someone and get married. She added, most, I'm not saying all, I'm being careful with my words. Most married people that I know are miserable and not happy and don't want to be married. Uh, in a separate appearance on the Jennifer Hudson show last week, Anthony also said that her and Carmelo's son, Kyan or Keon, is now protective of her dating again after the divorce. He doesn't like it. He doesn't like it at all, she said, adding in jest that Keon would prefer it if she stayed single. I'm just like, you just want your mom to be alone like forever? He's like, kind of, she shared. But anytime his friends want to go out and do something, he's like, all right, ma, see you later. I'm going here. I'm like, you just leave me in a heartbeat, but you don't want me to have anybody. So,
What? Wait.
so
She says that's her own son.
I think she was saying she's thinking that in her head. Like when he goes off to have his own life and hang out with his friends, how he's so quick to do that. But he'll also say that he doesn't want her to have another relationship or get married again. So she was like, wow, you'll just leave me in a heartbeat to go do what you want to do, but then you also want me to
Yeah,
not have a guy. So you just want me to
yeah,
always be by myself.
yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, so yeah, Lala's talking about how, according to her and her world, she doesn't know any married people who are happy. Most of them are miserable, and people ain't jumping to get married. So what's with the psychosis on Lala and talking about how married people are miserable?
Well, I mean, show me the single people who are happy. So now, if the thing is about what marriage is, of course, it's not. Marriage is work. Like even when you're like 50 and 60, you still gotta take care of your knucklehead ass kids. Now they got grown up problems. Hey, Dad, I'm getting foreclosed on. I'm gonna need you to can you co-sign for me? What? Hey, the kids, one of them sick, man. Hey, could you go to the school and pick them up? Man, I'm caught up here at work. Yeah. So even when you have kids, and you're a grown person, yeah, man, you still gonna have to take care of them. There's nothing glamorous about it on that front. The reward comes from raising and cultivating strong people and populating the world with strong genetics, strong foundations, backgrounds to help make this experience better for your family and everybody else. And that requires effort and work. The misery that she's speaking of is probably linked to infidelity and stuff like that. That's a whole nother conversation that that needs to be had around marriage and all this other stuff. Because guess what, y'all? Everybody's cheating. Everybody's having sex with everybody. Unless there's some weird, unless they're really off the grid humans, then they're out here having sex and they'll cheat on you. The first given drop of a dime opportunity. If you're dealing with a person who can't get sex, that's also a dangerous person, because the first opportunity that they can, they're going to exercise that. You have to deal with people who know who they are, know what's going on. And at that point, you can bring functionality to this corporation y'all are building, or a corporation that the man is leading and that the woman is assisting. And so the roles, the gender roles and stuff like that are all out of whack. I'll leave this story here and I'll let you go on. I was at a family reunion. I was at a family reunion. This was probably like 2011, 2010. And there was some people there that they were married for they were like celebrating their anniversary too. I want to say, bro, they were married for almost 60, 70 years. They were old, bro. They were married for a long time. They gave the woman the mic, and that whole room was basically populated by her. It's a lot of people. And one of the younger ladies asked the older one. She said, "Hey, you know, how the marriage work or whatever." So, she was speaking. She was like, "People ask me how my marriage worked. How did I make it last for all this long?" And she said that it requires patience, forgiveness, and she says another word. But when she was saying these words, without so many words, you know what I'm saying? Pops was out there doing his thing and he was living his life, but she dealt with it and she remained strong and whatever. But look at the legacy that she created. It was an entire room of people. It's 200 to whatever people in there, all from them. So it was just like, well, if you don't want legacy, if you just want to sit around and want to always be happy, because what the hell is happy anyway? Then you're doing marriage for the wrong reason. And I would argue that if you're running around here single all day, hollering about no man of interest, like Lala mentioned, no man of that she's interested want to deal with her, then yeah, you're going to be around there miserable as well being single. So what about you, sir? You think Ms. Lala is accurate claiming that marriages are miserable, or I don't know, she's missing the mark on this one?
Yeah, she's confused. Okay. So she said most people I know are they're miserable in marriage and they don't want to be married and they're not happy, right? So who does she know? So here are some of her Hollyweird friends.
Hysterical.
Yeah. Kim Kardashian,
Hilarious.
a serial man eater, married Chris Humphries in a hot minute, divorced him, married Kanye West, and had a bunch of kids. Dysfunctional marriage. We don't need to go down the laundry list on how dysfunctional that was. Had a sex tape with an R&B star back in the day. And, Kim Kardashian is currently single, twice or three times divorced. Sierra was married to one of the most toxic guys in the history of hip hop culture and future. This guy is the epitome of toxic, and that's who she was with before she eventually got out of the matrix and married what some would call a square in Russell Wilson. Kelly Rowland, that's one that might stand the test of time. Vanessa Bryant, the widow of Kobe Bryant, who they almost had their relationship dissolved because Kobe, stepped out on the marriage in Colorado with that, room service broad. Um, Monica Denise, don't know who that is. Serena Williams. Serena Williams is married now to a non-black man, but before Serena Williams was married, was gallivanting around dating everybody from Common to Drake.
Doing
So
anything.
yeah, so take it for what you will. Gabrielle Union, Gabrielle Union, who was married to a football player, and she openly admitted to how toxic their marriage was because they were openly cheating on each other and were doing it vindictively on purpose. Before she ended up getting married to Dwayne Wade, where they are raising what some would call an alternative families, and you can read into that however you want.
Well said.
Uh, Beyonce, and you can take what you want out of that particular situation, but that marriage also almost dissolved because Jay-Z was doing his thing as well before he apologized and made that ridiculous 444 album, which was basically the Beyonce apologize album. And Taraji,
is she really friends with Beyonce though? Let's be serious.
I don't know, but they're associated, so we'll just go with that. And then we got Taraji P. Henson, who is 40 plus and also not married.
Well, she's got an all-star list of all the women.
Yeah. So she says no one I know who's married is happy. Marriages are miserable. Well, look at your social circle. You and all of your Hollyweird friends who date for hypergamous reasons and get into marriages for all the wrong reasons, all of a sudden want to say that marriage is a miserable concept. Well, look at how you're going about the decision look at how you're going about getting married. If you really cared so much about the sanctity of marriage and you wanted to be happy in a marriage, you wouldn't have married an NBA player, because you can say what you want, but you probably should make a different choice, because NBA players, especially when they're active players, not retired, probably don't give you the best chance to be in a marriage construct where this guy is going to be 100% faithful to you. I'm not excusing it. I'm not trying to say it's right or wrong, but pro athletes step out on their women and in their marriages all the time. It is what it is. So if you want to give yourself the best chance to not be cheated on, don't marry an NBA player. But that's what chicks like Lala do. They marry NBA players because they're NBA players, or they'll marry NFL players because they're NFL players, or they'll marry famous Hollywood stars or whatever, because that's what people in that sector of American society do. And then when they reap what they sow because of these choices that they made, they say married people are miserable and no one who's married is happy. You know who is married and happy? People who do it for the right reasons and make better choices. So this kind of ties into the previous talking point that I had from the last topic, where people need to be more accountable for the choices that they've made. You chose to date an NBA player who was in the prime of his career. That kind of is on you. Now, you can hold Carmelo responsible for doing the cheating, because absolutely, let's be very clear. When women talk about being miserable in relationships, I am of the belief that they're almost always talking about infidelity. What the hell else would they be talking about? What else are you talking about? You ain't talking about money. You ain't talking about lifestyle, because you got all of that. So what are you talking about when you talk about being miserable in marriages? The guy cheating on you. Because for women, that's the end all to be all. Infidelity. Guys stepping outside of the marriage. That's what she's talking about. That's what she's referring to. So if you don't want to get cheated on, don't marry the type of man who, from a profile standpoint, is the most likely to cheat on you. But you won't do that because NBA players excite your emotions. See, you can't have it both ways. You can't get with Future and then complain when Future goes Future. That's like the people who, those guys who, people wanted to get mad when the tiger bit Roy or Siegfried in the face or something like this. Chris Rock had a joke about this in his stand-up. You're going to get mad at the tiger went tiger. That's what tigers do. They bite your ass in the face. So you want to have a child with a guy like Future and then get upset when he goes Future. He's Future. You think a tiger changes the stripes? And I'm not even criticizing Carmelo because I just look at the world through a practical lens. And men who have all of the options in the world because on any given day they can step into the room and every single woman is going to be after them. I feel like it's incumbent upon you to make more sound decisions and just stray away from marrying a guy who lives that kind of existence, to whom that's his reality. That's kind of something that you need to take responsibility for. Should Carmelo take some accountability for the fact that he cheated on you? Yeah, those were his actions. That's his behavior. But you also take some accountability for getting married to a guy who has an extremely high likelihood of cheating. And it's just looking at the world practically. I'm not excusing cheating, but I'm looking at the world practically. These are the things that are going to happen to you. So all of your little flock of hens that you hang out with in Hollyweird or in social media world, in entertainment world, in social media, Instagram world, all of the little Instagram thoughts that you're friends with, and these only people who do these other things, and they are constantly in toxic relationships, getting cheated on by guys who run in similar circles. Whose fault is that? Them or yours? Don't then come out in public and project that as there's a problem with marriage on a whole, because there's plenty of other people who are doing marriages successfully. So look in the mirror, understand the role that you played and how things turned out, and make better damn decisions. But all of this bitching and complaining, like, stop it. No one I know who's married, most of the people who I know who are married are miserable. Who do you know? Because if it's any of these people who I just listed off, that's a go figure. That's a go figure. Birds of a feather really do flock together. And they get together and they spew their ideology amongst one another in their echo chambers. And they really do think that they're making points out here. And they're really just making themselves look foolish. So, hopefully for her, them checks from BMF and all of the rest of them shows that she's in keep coming in so that she can afford the lifestyle that she wants as a single woman, because in all likelihood she'll be a single woman into perpetuity because she can't help herself and the poor choices that she makes. And that goes for her and the rest of those weirdos that she hangs out with, that she uses as an example in terms of how to accurately gauge whether marriages are actually something that's miserable or not.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a hell of a. I'm saying that she got an all-star list of dysfunctional women, and those are her friends. And she went and got BBL'd.
Yeah,
this is what's going on, and this is where the cap needs to stop.
Yes,
she married, like you said, she married Carmelo Anthony. When Melo did it at the time, I was like, bro, we not in high school watching MTV no more, bro. Like, that's not La no more. But he wanted that. So he went and did that. I wasn't a fan of it. Because it seemed predatory on her part then. A la Renner, PJ Washington. But she stuck around. So she stuck around, actually got married, and did the whole horse and pony. Why? Some TV dollars weren't coming in no more. She wasn't BBL'd up, and she damn sure wasn't acting. So, to me, it seemed like a career move on her part, because this is when power couples became a thing. Oh yeah, Jay-Z, Beyonce, this and that. People are linking together for power couples, and this just came off as watered down power couple garbage.
Yeah, not to cut you off, but that's another thing. Like, you talk about fly me to the Burmese. Yeah. That's another thing, is the power couple thing. That's another lure. Like, I want to travel and do the power couple thing.
What? Why? So y'all can just be all on social media, hugged up, doing y'all power couple stuff where y'all just he posing, you posing, y'all both not looking away, and it's like, is this hot? Like, what do y'all really like this? Oh, I want to take pictures like that with my man. Oh, let me stay on course with this. So she went out and she did this fine. But to me, I wasn't buying it. So I feel like she ran game on Lil Melo. Lil Melo thought he was actually falling in love. He was status for her. He had a bag. And so to me, it seems as though she was riding this out. This little young dude is not going to be out here slaying stuff while he on the road. You know he is. So she was old enough at the time to knew that he was an NBA player in his prime. So he was going to get some stuff on the side. She knew that. But when the getting is good and you're riding this out, you take those on the chin. And that's where the ultimate, I'm pulling my card now, divorce, I'm unhappy. Why? Because you're infidelity. You're cheating on me. So it's their get out of jail free card. Every woman that talks about why they got a divorce or whatever, or not everyone, but a lot of them, infidelity.
It's the vast majority of cases.
Yeah.
I don't even know why they call it in, because usually it'll be called irreconcilable differences.
Right.
It's always just call it infidelity. Just put that shit on the divorce papers. Infidelity. This sugarcoating irreconcilable differences.
So when you're on that level of the food chain as a Carmelo Anthony, you know what you signed up for in the first place. What you think this man gonna keep it in his pants the rest of his life? He's only gonna have sex with you? Give me a break. So when she's finally BBL'd up, ready to hit the market, I never had a body like this before. I want to see how I can do in the market with this type of appeal. You type in Lala Anthony on Google, you see all of these scantily clad ass, barely wearing clothes ass photos of her thinking she bad. And it's like, what are you doing? Cause she still gets smashed. That's not even an argument.
That's not the point. Yeah.
That's like asking a homeless man, hey, do you want some cake? Homeless man is saying, yeah, what the hell? Now, granted, this cake fell on the floor about 5 hours ago. Is it cake? Yo, it's cake. He's eating it. I can show you some real upside down looking women on a dating app right now. There's a lot of dudes who will have sex with that. So just by saying, well, you'll still sleep with her though. Duh. Hey, I didn't say she's not attractive. I'm saying that she's not attractive for marriage. It's over. She's already got a grown ass kid going out. She's done. You talking about impressionable. Who can make impressions on her? You had Carmelo Anthony. Nobody wants to deal. Nobody, because she wants to upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
You want to do better than Carmelo?
Right.
So, of course, nobody's beating down your door to try to holler at you. Of course, you think marriage is miserable. Of course, you think all of these things. So, the timeline for Lala is a little iffy for me. I'm not buying her. I don't like these reformed women who never had a body before, but now they have a body. So now they have to take it for a spin. And this to me screams that. So she would have dealt with whatever Carmelo and them was doing. Because honestly, I don't think she's over that. And I feel like she would have dealt with that if she didn't have this BBL mindset and that I'm a Kardashian mindset. So she hit the market like she's one of them, and you're not. You were barely making the bad list when you was on MTV. You was getting a lot of passes because you was red. I'm just saying that over here. But go look up pre-op photos. Her waist.
No, she looked like a different person.
Yeah,
she did
her
not
waist,
look the same.
her hips was going like a pencil, like a bottom of a pencil. I was like, where's your hip, sister? Now they touching each side of the door frame. So of course she
Yeah.
want to go out there and wear these dresses and see what she can pull and try to be young again and midlife crisis it. So she's been real vocal lately. She's going on her Brittany Renner campaign right now. Hey y'all, I'm out here. Y'all forgot about me? I'm Lala. Ah, look at it, thirst trapping photos and everything. Trying to really test the markets in 2023 for her campaign in 2024. So yeah, I'm not buying Miss Lala. Sorry, would I still smash? Yeah, that's not saying anything. The
Yeah,
point,
that's not the point.
yeah,
Yeah.
the point is that you're washed. You're washed. So you got this thing right now where you're jaded and you're trying to cope. So all marriage is trash. That's why mine's didn't work. No one's happy. So newsflash, sister, work is marriage. It's not fun. You can have fun in a marriage. Overall, the life run when you and your significant other can look back and say, hey, that was a hell of a ride we went on. That's the fun. But the day-to-day challenges, the day-to-day work that has to go into the communication, the effort, the respect that goes in every day with that person, that's work and it ain't fun. So yeah, man. Miss Lala can have
Yeah.
at it.
Yeah.
Carmelo, keep doing your thing out there, man. And young Carmelo, the son, very wise young man. Nah, bro, your mama shouldn't be out there doing all that wild stuff. And no, mama, that's why I said what, because she really doing that atypical thing that baby mamas do or single moms do with their sons and turn their sons into they husbands. So what you mean you leaving so you can go out and party, but I can't? What? That's your son. Of course you can go out and party. And no, you can't, mom. You left dad. So yeah, man. This screams modern woman to the core, Western woman to the core. But I didn't know those were her friends. I wouldn't even date a woman who had that as a friend list. Are you kidding me?
Unless I was equally as messed up, and that's the thing about it is these women date, like, socially most people tend to date people who have similar experiences and live within the same sort of socioeconomic context, which is why all of these Hollywood people get into relationships with one another and whatnot. So, like Lala, who's been ran through, she's definitely industry. Is just gonna get with industry dude, and when that situation blows up because it's toxic, then she gets on a tirade and makes, well, not a tirade, but she makes public comments about how people in marriages are miserable. No, people in marriages are miserable. That's not everybody. And I'm tired of this kind of thing where it's like you make these blanket statements that are supposed to apply to these entire institutions. So now you basically want to speak and make a referendum on marriage as a whole, based upon your individual worldview and the social circles that you run in, social circles that are perhaps the most dysfunctional and toxic in all of the world. When you talk about
Mankind, bro. All
yes, yes,
mankind.
yes, when you talk about this Hollywood stuff and these weirdo circles that you run in and all of that kind of stuff. Well, it's no wonder that you're jaded enough now to feel like marriage is a miserable prospect. Look at the way you've gone about doing it. It's that's all on you, and I'm over it. And at this point, I don't care whether Lala realizes that. I like talking about stuff like this just to show other people who might watch these videos or content like it how delusional these individuals are, and how you should never, ever, ever listen to anything that they have to say, because nothing that they have to say has any sort of merit or logic attached to it in any kind of way. And this situation is no exception. Just look through her history, and just key in on what she's saying. People like her. They talk about no one I know who is married is happy. Okay, well, let's do some investigating on who she knows. That should tell you everything that you need to know. Like, that informs you on everything that you need to know with her worldview and how she looks at all of these different concepts and notions. And you just shouldn't listen to them. It's a lot of people walking around out here who think that they are someone who should be listened to, and they're not. and Lala is not anyone that you should listen to when it comes to marriage. Like, spare me, and don't cry me a river with your woe is me take on what you've been through and how marriage is miserable. No, the way you chose to do marriage is miserable. That's not all cases, and that's it.
Lala can show me. Like if I asked her, it's like, so whenever I'm presenting something on a microphone, but I'm trying to make eye contact with the audience. So how do you make sure that you get that, accomplished? She could school me on that. She could school me on some other stuff, but she cannot school me on dating and relationships. Lala, you cannot do that.
Yeah.
So
You don't have any qualifications. Your credentials are not good enough for that. They're
no.
not. They're not good enough. I'm sorry. They're not. And, you might as well be all of y'all. I don't want to hear shit from any of y'all about relationships. None of your little flock of hens that you hang around with. And all the rest of that ridiculous dysfunctional nonsense that y'all pull on a daily basis. I don't want to hear that.
Not even Sierra, who seems to have the more functional one. But look what happened to her man. She's so dysfunctional that she broke Russell Wilson. That guy's a broken. I've never seen that. You talk about falling off a cliff. I don't know if I said, me and my brother was talking about that, about him and about Russell and how he was out here just no fapping, just no busting nuts. He was just out here, good Christian man. Him and Tyler Lockett just raved about how virgin they are in life. And I was like, hey man, kudos to you guys. A lot of people aren't sticking to the Lord's word like that. But as soon as, you know what I'm saying, he done got married, went Hollywood and stuff like that, and apparently busted nuts, he just lost it. And he's not the Russ of old. And he looks washed. So even then, man, a sign of a good woman, all right, is if when she puts the box on you, your production increases. That's a good sign of a good woman. Oh, so wait. You're telling me that since you got with her, then you weren't having a Hall of Fame career, but now you are? That's the support at home. That's not a woman trying to nag you, control you, and do all these other things. Because I'm going to tell you right now, everybody knows who wears the pants with Gabrielle Union. Everybody knows who wears the pants with Serena Williams, with Kim Kardashian. Those are some pants wearing ass females on that list, boy. So, not surprised that these are her friends. This speaks in line with that type of behavior and that logic. So, is marriage perfect? Absolutely not. Miserable is a strong term. I would not
to say everybody, to make it seem like it's this widespread thing. Oh, it's just everyone I know who's married is miserable. It denotes that marriage in its entirety is miserable.
Yeah, they look at it
is a miserable prospect.
They look at it as slavery too. So they look at it as, I can't go out, I can't be single, young, and irresponsible. And just like I said, man, when you get older and you raising your kids, and you've raised them, they 18, 20, 30, they out the house. Hey, life's great, right? Wrong. You still be raising those bastards. So it's a thing where when you're dealing with old age and you're getting up there and stuff, there's never going to be a moment where you're taking the foot off the gas in life. So you always got to work, and there's always efforts towards being happy. So have at it, Miss Anthony. I guess she can hit me up. This is no Lori Harvey situation. Now,
no,
Lori,
not at all.
Now, Lori, I'm willing to make impressions on her, but as far as Miss Anthony,
can try.
In 2004, I would have been all over Lala, but not right now.
Yeah, and she looks completely different. Yeah. See the video we did last week talking about that BBL stuff and that surgery stuff. She looks like a different person. It's crazy. But it is what it is. I think she's full of hot air, and that's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it.
She's never bad, bro.
Yeah, you do not have a group of well-to-do friends you don't have a group of well-to-do friends enough for me to take your, you know, opinion into consideration when you talk about people who are married being miserable. Look at
Yeah,
who you hang out with.
exactly.
That's garbage. But whatever. I guess good luck, Lala. Keep doing your thing out there wearing them see-through dresses at them, award shows.
I'll look, but that doesn't
You'll
mean
be
anything.
yeah, you'll be 50 doing all of that. Yeah, she'll be 50 with all that.
And
But
I'll still probably be looking.
yeah. But we'll go ahead and end it on that note. Another Conscious Approach video in the books. Another good stream. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. My name is JV Wins. That is Dogon SS. As I always like to say, man, we are in a race to 1,000 subscribers, and we couldn't have done it without the support of everybody who has joined the tribe. And we like to encourage anyone else who might come across our content to join the tribe by clicking on the subscribe button so that you can be a part of the community and get notifications whenever new content is posted to the channel. You can follow Conscious Approach on Instagram at ConApproach, ConApproach. Be on the lookout for Conscious Approach on your podcast platforms, wherever you get that, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever. We'll be there. We'll have a presence. So be on the lookout there. If you happen to be watching any of these videos on the Meta page, follow and like the page and also share the video because we certainly appreciate it. You can follow me on Instagram at ConApproach. CONAPP. You can follow me on Instagram at JVWins, JVWINS. And you can also follow Conscious Approach on the Instagram at ConApproach, CONAPPROACH. As I always like to say, we appreciate you for supporting logical content. We appreciate you for continuing to support logical content. And we have a lot of good things coming down the pike. So be on the lookout for that as we continue to crank out this good stuff.
Yep. And the name is Dogon SS. You can find me on Instagram at Dogon_SS or on YouTube at Dogon_SS. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button over there. All right. Also, I'm still working in the shadows. All right. If any of you guys like college football, I personally am in love with it. All right. Go Hurricanes. All right. Channel is on the way. All right. Working on that diligently in the shadows. But that will be on the way on the Hurricane Dogon channel. Make sure you guys subscribe over there. And as I say on every pod, guys, don't be too high, don't be too low. Keep it calm, keep it chill, keep it playing, man. Don't let anybody get you off your pivot. All right. Love is a beautiful thing, y'all. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you want to make sure that you're balanced and you're not bringing too much ego into this. All right. So don't be too high, don't be too low. All right. You can find yourself a good partner so long as there's balance as well. All right. So Lala talking about love. We don't care about none of that stuff. All right. These women out here saying that they don't want to be feminine, not impressionable. To hell with that. Stand on your morals. Don't get off your pivot, man. And until the next time, guys. All right. We'll catch you on the flip side.
Yeah. We'll catch y'all later, man. On that note, we out. We'll see you on the next video.
Peace. Skirt. God damn.